In this video, I'm going to be covering a topic which has come up quite often in the comment section of my YouTube channel, and that's how do I play the Rhino. When it comes to the Rhino, I must admit there is a little bit of a learning curve involved. For me personally, it took me about, I would say about 2 weeks or so before I'd learned how to use it effectively. To those that have just bought the Rhino and they're struggling with it, hang in there. You have to be patient. Like I said, it took me 2 weeks, but once you learn how to use it, it really is a great bot. It has a lot of firepower and performs really well in higher tier games. Before I can even talk about how to better pilot the Rhino, we do have to take a look at weapon ranges first. I've mentioned this numerous times in other videos as well, how important weapon ranges are. Now, what you decide to run on your Rhino or any other bot for that matter will dictate how you play that bot. So let's take a closer look at weapon ranges. As some of you may know, I've kind of categorized my ranges into 3 different groups: close range, medium range, and long range. So in the case of close range, we're looking at a weapon that can do potential damage up to 300 or 350 meters. So in the case of the Rhino, we're probably looking at setups or builds which involves Orkans, Pinatas, Turans, Magnums, Aphids. Next up we have the medium range, so anything that can do damage up to 500 meters. We're probably looking at builds on the Rhino which involve CLV pins to lumbus. And then lastly we have long range. So to me, long range is really anything from like 800 meters to beyond. I guess the more popular setup for the Rhino when it comes to this sort of range category would most likely be Molots. In this first clip, there's a number of things that I actually wanted to point out. Other than me running close range weapons, you'll notice that I'm doing these wide turns through these gaps. This does come with experience. When I need increased maneuverability, like if I'm going to engage the enemy or I need to make a sharp turn, then I do drop my shield prior to me getting to the point of engagement. So in this case, you saw me drop my shield as I wasn't going to engage. Once I took out my opponent, I needed to get to that beacon quickly, so I raised the shield to give me that added speed. In the second clip, I'm running a Plasma Rhino, so a Rhino with Turans and Magnums. As you'll notice, I have to get close to my enemy since these weapons have a range of 350 meters. When I need to get into position quickly, I raise my shield. That gives me the added speed that I need in order to get into position. Once I'm ready to engage, I lower my shield so that I have that increased maneuverability to help in one-on-one engagement. In this next clip, I'm running a Rhino with Lumbus and CLV pins. I mentioned at the start of this video, I was kind of talking about weapon ranges and how it can dictate the way you play a certain build. This is actually a classic example of that. With CLV pins and Lumbus, I have a range of 500 meters. Because the reload time is so long on these weapons, I have to make sure that I sort of keep my distance, which is exactly what I'm doing right now. As I mentioned in the previous clip, when I need to get into position very quickly and the coast is clear, I raise my shield so that I can go into assault mode and take advantage of that added speed bonus. But you'll also notice what I did there is I turned very quickly to the left side of me. This allows me to get view of sort of those blind spots in case there is an enemy nearby and I don't see them. But because I did it when I'm in assault mode, it actually allows me to literally do a 360-degree view around me without my Rhino making any sort of sharp turns. in this game I decided to show it more so because it's a classic example of how weapons can dictate how you play the bot. As you noticed in the previous clips where I was running Orkans and Pinatas or Turans and Magnums, I was very aggressive with my Rhino because I needed to get close in order to deliver the damage to my opponent. In this case, I have to keep my distance because the range on the Molots is 800 meters. As you can see, I went into assault mode, mostly because I needed to get into position quickly, so this allows me to get that added speed bonus so that I can get into position and once again start firing at that Fury that's off in the distance. In the same game, I actually noticed that there was another Fury. When I checked out their range, they were at roughly 640 meters away from me, so I decided to use my Molots to my advantage and made sure that I kind of stood outside of his 600 meter range as he was running tridents. Again, this is another example of how I'm using the range of my weapons to my advantage, and it's dictating how I play my bot. In this last clip, I'm going to show you a couple of examples of when I actually lower or raise my shield in terms of gameplay. There's a Rhino to the right side, so I had to drop my shield to deliver all my damage to him, but there's a Golem to the left side. He's firing directly, so I raise my shield. This allows me to get into position quickly, and once I'm into position, I lower the shield again and then unleash all my Orcs and Pinatas on him to take him out. This next example, I'm going to be using my Rhino to capture the center beacon. The Rhino is actually great at capturing beacons and holding them down, so this is pretty much what I'm going to be doing here. As you can see, I'm taking on a lot of firepower, so I raise my shield to absorb some of the plasma that's being fired at me. I do get taken out, but as you can see, I captured the beacon.